Hello, welcome back to Steve's Retirement Corner. Inflation during retirement. Now, I'm going to be wrong here. People are going to fuss at me about it, but I don't see it being that big a deal for us personally. I got a few reasons why, and that's part of the reason I'm out here in the wife she shed again, to be honest with you. It's probably going to be my winter hangout, so she don't run off every time I cut the computer on. But, she's got a couple of chairs over here. A dresser or two over there, a couple tables over yonder, and a daggone old rocking chair over in the corner over yonder. She's got her paints and stuff in here and sanding equipment and junk like that. She goes down to the junk store and buys these things. They're thrift stores. I'll call them all junk stores. I don't care whether it's Goodwill or whatever. Buys these things for a couple of bucks and redoes them. She has an idea where she's going to put them in the house. That way she ain't out nothing but a couple of bucks. And, 5, 6 years later, if she wants to change the decor of the house, she can do it. It's not running as an arm and a leg. She's always done it ever since we've been married. And that's like this here. All these fancy YouTubers on here, they get these professionals. They have these. I don't know how y'all can see this, but they got these things, ring lights. I don't know what they give for them, 20, 30 bucks, 50 bucks, depending on how much you want to give for them. But I had some scrap wood from building my porch railings a couple years ago. I didn't even square the board off. I left it crooked like that. And so I just screwed it together, and I put a daggone wire coat hanger with a clamp. Just bent it over the edge and put it like that. And that's why I like them wire coat hangers. You don't see them very often anymore, but you can use them for all kinds of stuff. And then she, I don't know, 3, 4 months ago, she bought a couple of these daggone flashlights like this for $1 down at the old Big Lots. So that's what I use for my fancy ring light. And you want to shade it, I always got a handkerchief in my pocket that's kind of lay over it. That way it won't be too bright on you. Hang on, I'll go put this up on that thing here. Well, no, I'm going to leave it here. We'll put it up there later. But that's what I usually put behind my daggone camera when we do when I do an indoor one. How's that? But I mean, what inflation is to us is everyday life. What I just told you about here about making do with scrap wood, redoing furniture, junk like that, it's what we've always done. It's all we know. The households we grew up in did the exact same thing, repurpose things. It saves you when times are getting tough like this. And since that's our natural life, we don't have to change anything. It's just what we do. How many of y'all remember daggone cutoffs? When you wore your breeches to the knees, wore out in them or whatever, and you cut them off and wore them next summer for shorts? You don't see that stuff anymore. People don't do that anymore. That's why it's so hard on people anymore. I don't see our retirement changing any because of inflation, because that's our normal lifestyle. I don't know if it makes any sense. But I mean, honestly, everybody is now living in my world. How's that? It's just what we do. We haven't increased our lifestyle in the past, I know, 18 years, maybe 20 years or better. It just hasn't. The extra money we get usually goes to savings, um, investments or whatever. We don't spend it unless there's an emergency comes up. We're dollar down, dollar weak people. Cash in the checking account or in our pocket is all we spend. you know, on a month to month basis. That's it, unless something major happens, you know. And and our expenses just haven't went up. If anything, they've gone down, you know. So I got room to for inflation to move up, you know. Not only that, but I use a thing I call Steve math. Because we used to make bags at work for to pour the material in. You'd count up how many bags you need, then you'd stamp them with the lot numbers and type on it. Well, we had a boy at work named, I don't know what his name was. We used to call him Fish, Fish Doctor, and he'd always make 3 bags short. I don't care. I don't care how many he had to make. If he had to make 50, he'd make 47. If he had to make 10, he'd make 7 of them. I don't know why, but we always called it fish math. And that's what I use for my planning for retirement. That's how I plan for inflation, plan for unexpected things to happen. I round my expenses up and my income down. So I have a natural buffer built in. And then the way I'm retiring is in 3 years when I hit 60, I'll have $700 extra a month coming in because I'll get that second small pension and the truck will be paid off long before then. And then at 62, 2 years later, you know, I can take Social Security if I want to, and we can live off the Social Security and my 2 little pensions. So, and I can use whatever's in the bank or my investments to be that buffer to cover for inflation or emergencies or whatever. You know, I mean, that's the way I plan it. And I just don't see it. I very well could be wrong. 6 months from now, I could be crying over in the corner here. Inflation at 12% and stock market down to 0, you know. But, I mean, you can't plan for catastrophes. You know. All you can plan for is what's reasonable out there. And that's the way I've planned it. That's why I'm conscious, but I'm not a bit concerned over it because we're comfortable now, and it's just this kind of stuff just comes natural to us because that's what we know. It's what we grew up doing. It's just what we know. You know, I don't know. I inflation hurts a lot in different ways, but when I retire, we'll be able to control a lot of the ways it hurts us. You know, I won't be traveling as much. Won't be as much washing to do. You know, we won't stop and get a burger once in a while. You know, we just don't. And we've reached a point in life where we don't have a lot of wants or needs. To be honest with you, we got everything we need right here in this little half acre of paradise. And anything we need, we go ahead and get. You know, and if we don't get it this year, we'll get it next year. We're old enough where our wants don't hurt us. You know what I mean? I don't know. You got to be conscious of it. Wouldn't be overly concerned. You got to prepare for it. You got to plan for it as best you can. Regular people can't plan for every catastrophe out there. We just can't. We don't have the money. Simple as that. We don't. You got to learn how to adjust and adapt when the time comes. You just have to. And since we've always done that, we're junk collectors and we make do. It's what we do. I can't tell you how many lawnmowers I've bought off of yard sales for a couple of dollars. Fix them up, get them running. A couple of years, go back and have to buy another one. I mean, it's just what we do. I'm forever used to be forever dragging something up. I used to haul people's junk off for people. I put an ad in the paper. They'd call me. Most of that stuff would end up here at the house. The wife would get ticked at me. You gonna do something with that or what? And then after I fix it up and clean it and sand it and paint it and everything, she said, well, this is pretty nice. But anyways, it's me personally. I don't see it being as big a deal that they make it out to be. I just don't, you know. And I see my ability to adapt and overcome it. It's just me. And I know the wife will be able to. She bought me store-bought tea. Store-bought tea. Store brand. I went away from name brand. Things getting tough down in the corner when I go to store brand TV. But I don't know no difference. So it don't make no difference. Well, y'all be good. Y'all enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to y'all later.